In today's video, we're doing a tutorial. Welcome to the video, guys. My name is Tyler, also known as the Fit Chemist, and I help people take control of their lives by taking control of their fitness and nutrition habits so that ultimately we could lead healthier and happier lives. So if you are new here, welcome. Please consider subscribing and turning those notification bells on so you don't miss when I post a new video. And if you are returning, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. In the last video, I did a complete walkthrough of my nutrition calculator spreadsheet in which basically anything you need to know for a diet can be calculated in that spreadsheet. And as promised, today we're going to be going through my calorie tracking spreadsheet. This is the same exact spreadsheet that I use with my clients, and I am giving it away for free. You do not want to miss this. It is linked down below. So go ahead and download that. I'm going to hop over to my computer and I'll meet you guys in the spreadsheet. All right, so once you download the spreadsheet and you open it, you'll be taken to this Start Here tab, or like a home tab, I guess you could say. So you can see, just in case you forget, there's instructions down here, but of course we're going to do the walkthrough today. And I've also got the sources, so I think the biggest shout out that I want to give is to Baxter for her progress tracker. So she actually laid a lot of the groundwork for this type of spreadsheet, and I just took what I liked from hers, added some things that I also liked and wanted, and then just kind of modified it to my liking. So I just want to say I didn't completely do this from scratch. I'll link hers down below if you want to check hers out and see if you like hers better. But nonetheless, let's get into it. One thing I do want to mention, you can see all of these tabs have locks on them, so you can unlock them if you want. If you go to this review tab, click unprotect sheet, and then you'll see that disappears down here. If you want to reprotect it, you just click protect sheet and then make sure that select unlock cells is the only box that is checked. And the reason I'm saying that is because, as you'll see as we're going through this, there are a ton of formulas, and there's also auto-population features. So some things from this macros tab will also auto-populate in the progress tab. And if you unlock the cells and you start deleting some of these formulas and stuff, it's not going to end well for you. You'll have to read down the spreadsheet, and just trust me, you don't want to do that. I think it's just best if you leave them locked. So let's start with the progress tab. I'll just go ahead and explain what some of these columns are and how I would use this. So let's pretend that it's going to be a Sunday check-in. I like to do check-ins on Sunday. So this upcoming Sunday would be 6/28/20. So I'll put the date in there, and of course you can just populate that as you go along. You have the week's goal type, so I would click the drop-down menu, and depending on what it is you want to do, so we have fat loss, reverse diet, maintenance phase, or even a muscle gain phase. So let's say that I want to do a fat loss phase. That's my goal for this week. What I can do is come in here. Let's say I want to lose half a pound. What I can do is put an apostrophe, minus sign, and then 0.5 pounds. So you have to put the apostrophe in front because otherwise Excel will recognize this as a formula and an equation, and it'll ask you to click other boxes. So just put that apostrophe, and then boom, you have the minus 5 pounds. So let's say you wanted to do a plus sign, you do the same thing. So you could do plus 0.5 pounds. So up to you, but since we're doing fat loss, we're gonna make that a minus. Weight sessions is essentially just how many weightlifting sessions you did that week. So let's say you have a 5-day plan, we would just put 5 for that column. HIIT is how many minutes of HIIT you did that week. So let's say we did 30 minutes of HIIT, and we'll just make up some numbers here. We'll say 80 minutes for low intensity steady state. So I talk about this in my cardio video. Personally, I like tracking cardio this way because it's very easy to assess and make adjustments because you see how much cardio you're doing each week. This is where we get into some of that auto population I was talking about. So your average weight will come from the macros tab. Same thing with your change in weight. Body fat percentage, again, I've got this body fat calculator here. Click on that, figure out what your body fat percentage is. Let's just say we're at 15% body fat. So then we can track that, of course. And then the rest of these are basically just auto populated from the macros tab. So if we check that out, there's kind of a lot going on here, but again, let's say we're going to start with Sunday, which is 6/28/20. Then you can just click and drag, so that will give you all the dates for the week. And then let's just make up some numbers here. Okay, So I just entered in some random weights. You can see that it will auto-populate and it'll get your weekly average, which again, I think it's so important to look at weekly averages. So put in our target macros. So let's say this individual needed to eat, we'll say 180 grams of protein, 400 grams of carbs, and we'll say 90 grams of fat. So when I go ahead and I auto-populate this, all of this data can be found in MyFitnessPal. But I'm just going to put in the macros. So I'm going to, again, make these up. And you'll see down here I have these compliance values. So calories, protein calories, and then also carbs and fats, because again, carbs and fats are somewhat interchangeable. What I would be more concerned with is eating the right amount of calories and protein. So let's just make up some numbers here. Okay, so I went ahead and just made up some numbers here. So if this was an actual check-in, I would say this would be a pretty good week, because if we look over here, calories were 100%, protein calories were 103%, and then carbs and fats were at 99%. So all of these are green. If you'll notice, let me just change some values here. So let's say, I don't know, obviously you're not going to consume 900 grams of carbs, or 900 grams of fat, sorry. But I just want to show that if you do, let's say your weekly average ends up being way over, you'll see that now calories are 134%, carbs and fat calories are 143%. So if you see something in red, that's kind of an indicator to you that you need to put a little bit more attention into this category. And then I also have a color coder for yellow. Okay, so now you can see that we have this at 104%, so it's a yellow color coding. I would say that's still good. If all of these are green, that's a great check-in. If they're yellow, I would say that's good, but you could use some work in the upcoming week. And then if they're all red, that's, again, definitely an indicator that you need to put some more focus on this. So I'm going to show you what a filled out example will look like, but first I want to go over the notes tab. So if we come over here, I just have a comments and notes section, so you can put in whatever you want here. Let's say weights felt heavy this week, cardio was good, had trouble sleeping on Thursday. I don't know. Can't even spell Thursday right. So you can put whatever you want here. I usually just make some notes about my fitness and nutrition, if the week was stressful, if I had any events that sort of popped up and things that could potentially interfere with my goals. So that way I can just quickly look back and be like, oh, okay, I had this going on that week. And then something I also have is these subjective measures. So I talked about this in another video as well. So we need to change this here because I don't like the way that it's aligned. So I'm going to unprotect this sheet, and then I'm going to come over here and align at the top. So note that when you're doing this, you do have to hit Option and Enter. So that'll take us to this next line. So we'll say 10. I don't know, we'll just make up some numbers again. So energy was a 7. Oops. Strength was an 8. You guys get the idea. So you go through, fill that out, because if you hit Enter, it'll just take you down to the next column, and you don't really want to do that. So that is how you would go ahead and fill out that particular section. Now I want to show you guys what this will look like after you completely fill it out. So you also see that I have some things populated. So it got our average weight, it also got our target calories, our average calories, and then calorie compliance. And you can see our target macros were over here. So there's a lot of things from the macros tab that will basically auto-populate on the progress tab. So again, let's say you didn't like this. You obviously don't need your weight. What is that, 6 decimal places? So we're gonna unprotect this sheet. I'm gonna select this entire column, click Format, Cells, come down here to Number, and I'm just gonna change that to 1 decimal place. Okay, so that looks nice. Same thing with these calories. I don't want 6 decimal places, so let's say Format Cells, Number. I'm just gonna have no decimal places for that. So I'll save that real quick, protect sheet again, and then select Unlock Cells. So now we're good. This doesn't look as messy. That's good to go. So we're going to transfer over to another spreadsheet. This is actually my data now, so you guys can nitpick some of my goals here. But I wanted to show you what it looks like when it is filled out. So you can see this was actually after my last contest prep, started in October 2019. It's going to current, so I went from a recovery diet phase to a reverse diet to muscle gain, and then since quarantine started right here, I've basically just been holding it maintenance and sitting around like 165 to 170. Once gyms open back up, we're gonna go back to a muscle gain phase, but you can see all of this stuff is in here. It looks a little different because I wanted to make the one that you guys have a little prettier, but same concept, right? All my target macros have been over here. You can see all my different calorie compliances. So like right here was a stretch of not eating very much, I guess eating under my calories, because you can see my targets were actually quite high. So just little things like that sort of give you different information, right? You can see here, I'm actually not doing any cardio, which is quite nice, but I can see my change in weight. I can very quickly see my calories and how my weight changed because of it. So yeah, I think doing it this way gives you a very good snapshot of the big picture. And then if I come over here to the macros, you can see I have like a little notes, comments section here as well. But again, I have all these filled out. You can see my different compliance levels and whatnot. So yeah, I hope you guys like this. Again, I do use these with my clients because MyFitnessPal does have a lot of great information that it does record in there, but I think putting it into a spreadsheet like this really just gives a good idea of the big picture and how you can adjust and make changes throughout your diet. So if you have questions, please let me know. All right guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Between these two spreadsheet walkthroughs and my entire How to Diet series, you guys now have all of the tools that I use in my arsenal, and they're now in your arsenal, in your toolbox, to have the most successful diet that you've ever done. So I'm super excited. As always, if you have questions, let me know in the comments down below. And if you gained some value from this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. It really does help me out with the YouTube algorithms. And again, if you are someone looking to take control of their lives, and we're gonna start that with our fitness and nutrition habits, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bells on so you don't miss when I post a new video. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.